Out there swimming and all down, and when she come up, she didn't have her top on. It tied around here and it came untied.
I still remember it too.
I do too.
Well, so do I.
And I remember Grandpa, of course, you know the words he had.
I can tell you exactly what he said.
What did he say? I don't remember.
They were a lot of four-letter words.
What did he say? I don't remember.
Oh, I'm not going to say it.
Oh, come on, no, you got
I don't remember what he said, but I know. Well, I got down under the water.
She held her breath.
Do that again, Rosie. What was she doing? What was she doing?
See that video time, Marty. Paparazzi's got video.
This can be emailed, you know.
I'm not going to do that jumping up. At my fault.
The movie.
We have another next year when I come back.
Everybody got to make one. Tracy and I $100 apiece because Mom thought there would be over 100 people here.
I'll tell you something that Aunt Deb told. It's not true. Well, they always told me that. I said, I don't care what they told you. I said, that is not true. I busted her bubble quick.
What was
She said that Dad, Vern, delivered Gary.
Who
he
was
was born at
telling
home.
Gary? Or no, Don was telling me that. What? Okay, go ahead.
Well, anyway, I was born at home because he came early, and we called the doctor, and he hadn't got there yet. And Grandma was there, and oh, you remember you wouldn't know them though. They lived. I can't say his name now, but you know who I meant. They lived right down the next road, and she had several children. And anyway, she came up, and she and Grandma, and anyway, she's the one that cut the cord, this neighbor lady, and wrapped him up and cleaned him up and everything. And the doctor got there about that same time. But he did not, I don't think he was even, well, he was in the house, but he wasn't even in the room.
So who really?
And she says, well, Mother told that. Well, Mother might have told it, but it wasn't true.
So actually, Grandma did, kind of. Or you
No,
did?
she didn't deliver him either. Grandma Cowman was in the room.
Oh, yeah, Grandma Cowman, sure.
Oh, shoot. Haynes. Her name was Mrs. Haynes, but I can't say her first name right now. But anyway, she had come up before he was born, and Grandma Cowman was his mother. And then Mother came later that day, but she
Right.
stayed that night, I think. And then I think Aunt Fanny came that night, too. And she said, well, he delivered. Mother told us that. And I don't care what Mother told you. I said, it ain't true. Well, I've always heard that. I said, I can't help it. It ain't true. So I don't know what else she told Renan and Gary coming over there. I bet she told them some dandies. Because some of her stories are stretched beyond almost remembering. I mean, recognizing.
So that wasn't true, huh? So.
No, it wasn't
so
true. It
you
wasn't
just
true.
delivered him yourself then?
Well, he just came. but Dr. Beecher, well, the old Dr. Beecher, Dr. Merrill Beecher was one for you or Jane. Jane, because I had Dr. Nash. He was a baby doctor. You had a special doctor. And
Don't
Dr.
cut
Merrill.
that one off the tape. I don't want the other kids to hear that.
Oh, well, you don't want you to hear that about Aunt Deb either. Because she loves to embellish.
So, well, Don kept telling me that, but then he was adding his little twist about
I'll have
something.
to tell him
so.
and Joanne that ain't true.
Oh no, he got that it wasn't true, but then he was adding, his little.
Why did they ever deliver him or
There's
something?
something.
Oh, Don was on a roll the other night, showing everything.
See, I really did think it was the kids said, "Oh, we're just going to stay a few minutes," because they thought, you know, they all had to get up early. So I just figured that was the deal. So
Well, they should have figured out so that they went earlier, because Joanne was planning big on them coming to the house. But she doesn't say much, you know, so. And she likes it if everybody's in the same room. She doesn't like to have little groups go different places. She likes to know what everybody's saying. Even though she doesn't talk much, she likes to know.
what's it.
Yeah.
I want to hear
She's-
the story about the. No, I want you to get this one, Marty, about the telephone. Tell this one again.
Oh, well, we used to go to Swickard's, and our favorite game was sit in the kitchen, and we had an old wall telephone with batteries in it.
Hurry up, flip up and get a picture of that.
And had battery in it, and they'd hook. I don't understand what you do, but the guys know. Hooked it up so that we'd get the shock, and we'd all hold on to hands, and you'd hang on as long as you could stand it. But then when you dropped out, then the next guy'd hold. You were out, and then they'd hold hands, and then you'd see how many you could keep in there, and they'd keep making it stronger.
So by cranking the phone.
I suppose, was that what they do with crank it? Yeah, I remember them cranking it, and the more they cranked, the harder it was. And of course, Helen was younger than me, but she and I don't know if Margaret, I don't know, Jan was in on it, because she'd be about Helen's age, but I
She'd
don't
be
think
about the
Margaret would be.
caliber.
I don't think Margaret was born yet. And
Well,
of course,
how-
Dean and
what-
Deb.
What are we talking about age?
Well, I probably was 5 or 6. I was one of the little ones.
We were talking little guys.
Well, yeah, we weren't.
So then Uncle
Well, see, Uncle
would
Kenny
would be.
and there was Franny and Kenny and John and Phil would have. Well, maybe we weren't. Well, at least 7 or 8. And
so
Phil
then
and I
Uncle
would be
Kenny,
the same.
and
But
Uncle Kenny
Franny
would
and
have been
Kenny
what?
and John
If
and
you were
Phyllis
7,
and Phyllis and.
if you were 7 or 8, then what would have Uncle Kenny have been? He'd been the oldest.
Well, he was what?
4 years older?
Yeah, because Uncle Franny will be 92 this summer, and Kenny was 2 years older, and then Phyllis was 2 years older than that, and then John and Phyllis were about
Oh,
the
I
same
think I
age.
meant Phyllis. I meant instead of Uncle Kenny would have been the oldest. So they were about 11.
Yeah.
So it'd be about Justin and
And
Grant's age going
I don't
clear
know if
down to
we
the
had-
girls.
I don't know if we had any other neighbors that would have been in on that. I don't remember anybody else coming in at that time, but there'd be that whole bunch of kids, and we'd be hanging this on for dear life.
How many times around would you go?
Oh, I don't remember that. I just know that I generally dropped out. It's just like taking electric fence.
Which is,
Let's see how Justin and Grant would fare if he took Macy and Amy down and, okay, let's all hang on to the electric
Yeah,
fence
just-
until it's done, until
Yeah,
the first
that'd
one
be
dropped
exactly-
out. They'd
exactly.
get killed.
get
Their
killed.
parents would kill them.
You took. Oh yeah, Justin would die. Oh, Shane. Yeah, so would Grant if they did that.
And Dad used to trick us too into touching the electric fence.
Dad, my dad or your dad?
No, my dad. We didn't have electric fence.
My dad.
Your
yes.
dad, yeah.
Yes, he did.
And then
That electricity thing. That's
Oh.
what I think you.
maybe that's where my head got.
That's what I'm thinking.
That was funny. He told me, he said, your head's not screwed on right. He's funny. He lives at Canton. Of course, he works on Saturday morning, I think. But anyway, Carol, she thought he'd come. She said, well, I thought he'd come on his way home. Because they've been teasing me up there about my birthday and all everything. So she thought he'd come. Well, I didn't expect him. But I wouldn't have been surprised seeing Don Moffat. Because he comes to stuff.
That was pretty good party, Mom.
But
Pretty good party. The old Swickard house is not there anymore.
Phil and Sharon put that extra addition on. And I think, I don't know how many years ago. I don't know, it was before they did that or after. See, they had a tornado there one day. here this, just before they put that addition on, I think it was.
Oh, really?
And it tore up, you know, they had such nice barns there. Tore up some of those barns and trees was all over. I don't know what it was we were having, and they didn't come. I can't remember what. But anyway, we were having something, and some family reunion. I don't remember what it was, something. And here to come find out, no wonder they didn't come.
Yeah, I guess they were picking up
Terrible.
boards.
Terrible
It was,
mess.
We've had those, haven't we? A lot more than we used to.
Mm. They didn't ever used to have tornadoes. Mother used to tell about tornadoes in Oklahoma, and we just thought that was really something. She told about seeing chairs and everything going up in clouds, you know, and boards and all that stuff. And we thought, my goodness, and then we've had some terrible ones through here. At one time I went to Gary's on his birthday, and I was gone 2 weeks, and we left that morning at 5, and that evening at 6 o'clock this big tornado went through. The tree over there came down, and the top of it just touched my front porch.
Woo-hoo.
But they had that all cleaned up before I got home. But when I came home, that's when, you know, all that off, it was terrible. All the way from, well, down John McCormick's even got it. It was kind of like that. Not McCoy, the firehouse, and up in that area got a lot of it. And then it was out west of town where Lyman and Linda lives and all there, and then clear over by Abingdon. Just cut a swath right through.
This through.
And but that was, I don't know how many years. But anyway, well, I know because that poster that thinks that wasn't
just true.
Well, she embellished too, but then when you're writing stories, sometimes you do.
But
then see, and then Aunt Phyllis and Uncle Kenny, see, we was living in the family in different times,
Right.
so we were exposed to different things.
But also,
And,
I think sometimes don't you live to the telling? I mean, I
Well,
was
and then
involved in
probably
things, but,
by the time the story got down to Deb,
you know,
it was changed quite a bit.
but Jane used to tell stories.
Oh yeah, banana in my ear. Oh, she told that. I bet she wasn't any bigger than Anna. She told that all the time.
We should tell Anna. You'd drive
No.
Jane nuts.
Remember that? How she did over to Fruit Hill all the time? And I bet she told that 1,000 times. She said, well, I can't hear. Well, how come you can't hear? Because I got a banana in my ear. Well, why would you have a banana in your ear anyway? Why would she ever got that story? I remember Chris getting her to say it.
She did tell that tons of times. But I was thinking about Jane telling the stories about experiences. And
Oh,
we
yeah.
would say, Jane, you weren't born.
Yeah.
But we'd tell the stories so much, she thought she was in them.
She was in on it. Well, I remember it. Well, you don't remember it because you weren't born yet.
But she'd tell it. That's true.
We had fun down at Fruit Hill. Remember?
Oh,
All
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And Bob Bird was trying to teach everybody to dance, and Laverne pretended like he didn't know, and he danced ever since he was 8 years
I
old.
could just still see
And
him.
he'd just pretend like he didn't know, and then he'd get up and he'd waltz or something just perfect, and Bob would say, "You son of a gun, you knew all the time."
Daddy was a good
He knew a
dancer.
lot more than Bob Bird did. I think Bob had been to a couple of lessons in Gills, but he died not very long ago.
Did he? I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, just
was
not more than
thinking-
2 weeks ago.
I was just thinking, thinking about Louise. And then all of a sudden I realized, no, you said Bob, and he was dating Catherine.
Yeah, wasn't that funny? That was the strangest thing it ever was, because she was absolutely the opposite of Louise. I mean, everything opposite. How they ever got interested.
Together. That's,
He asked her and she said yes, so they went.
there they went. How old was he?
Oh, he was 80, I don't know, maybe
Yeah, they were.
80, I don't know, he was close to 85, I think, maybe.
Oh, it's when
It's not very long ago.
Donnie Cecil was talking about Jane, and I said, no, you were thinking about your dad and my dad with their binoculars.
You've heard that story, haven't you? Talked enough times. Man,
Those two.
Weren't they a pair? How'd you and Margaret keep them in control?
We didn't. We just let them go. And Kenny had a bad leg. Well, he'd go to the doctor and get medicine. He kept it on the refrigerator. But she said he never took it. But as long as he had some in the box, he thought it was helping.
He never took it.
That's what she said she'd tell on him. But because he had to take some or he couldn't have got a new prescription. But that's what she'd tell on him. Oh, and there, one time, Dad called over there and wanted to talk to Mr. Cecil. And Roberta turned around and said, Dad, it's some big shot wants to talk to you. And it was Laverne.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, he was a character. I just couldn't stand it because Jimmy looks just like him. I mean, I never would have thought that. I mean, he just looks exactly
He does
like
look like him. Although Jimmy drinks all the time and Kenny never did. I don't think Kenny ever drank.
I mean, like drinks?
Mhm.
Not like drinks like we do. I
No.
mean, not like the pizza.
No.
Not like the pizza
No.
night. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
It's nothing new. I mean, it's...
Oh, well, I don't remember it.
Well, you didn't know it, but I mean, he's done that for a long time. Donna, she doesn't live with him anymore because of it. They still work together and are around together, but she lives in Elmwood.
Didn't know that. No, I don't think. Nobody really ever.
She knew it was. I knew it wasn't. Heck, she wasn't there.
Yeah, I'm thinking you were the star on that baby. You were the star on that baby. B. Would they live to see another day if they took Anna and Macy down and got them to hang
I
on to
really-
the fence, would they? Justin would not live to see his dad would kill him.
I don't know. I really don't know how old we are. I just know there was a whole mess of us, and because it was a big kitchen. It probably kitchen was
Oh, yeah.
well like we had out the farm.
Yeah,
That was
I was gonna
big.
say.
It was probably that big anyway.
I was going to say,
And it
our
was a
kitchen
whole
out to the
big
farm
bunch,
was
so-
about this
I don't
big.
remember
What's your
what-
funny story? then?
Well, Dad didn't like to do jobs around the house very well, and in the front room there's a grease place, and we had looked like flooring, linoleum, and you put it around a area rug. So he was working on that, and he had to take the raster out and cut a hole. You know what I'm going to tell. Cut a hole for the raster and then put it back in. Well, he turned around and he stepped right back through the hole and fell clear into the basement. Remember that? You were little. You remember that.
I probably more remember the telling than I remember
But,
it.
but man, oh man,
I
we
bet
learned
that-
a lot of new words.
That we did.
Can't you just see him going through?
I can see what his reaction
It was right there. Well, because there wasn't much room because the stairway was right there. So he had to step real careful, and then he fell right through it.
There was
Through
no
the
room.
hole. Because
There was no room.
there wasn't, no, because it was just right there. That was funny.
I'm surprised he didn't get hurt.
It was fun. Well, and he couldn't kill us because he did it. He took it out and
Yeah, but he could have killed us anyway, because I remember getting killed when I wasn't involved at all.
that was so funny. That was one of the funniest things I think
How
ever.
about I believe we need to have the story that Jane and I tell the story of you making Daddy recover the kitchen chairs. And we were dumb enough to be in the living room jumping around.
You got in trouble too. You didn't
Trouble
like to do that job
Would be
either.
translated, got our butts beat.
You didn't like to do those jobs, those kind of jobs.
Oh, and you stupid girls always got the short end of that story. Because we got in trouble. It was funny.
Remember Cheryl coming down and said to the boys, "Do your folks fight?" And I don't know what they told him. He said, "Boy, mine do."
Who said that?
Cheryl.
Oh, Cheryl Spurgeon.
He said, and Annabelle, you'd never think she would ever do nothing. Well, I don't know what she did, but he said, "Boy, mine do." I could just see his eyes popping out there. And then one time he hit Irene over the head with a hoe. But it didn't kill her.
I can see him still.
Little round face.
When we all went to the Sunnyside.
Sunnyside PTAs or whatever they were.
The school too, didn't it?
Well, they went to school there too, but then we had the PTA things.
I was telling Marty about when we went to the one-room school.
You know, all 8 grades in one room, so of course you listen to others when they did the rule, and there was a hill right to the north, and the hill was right there, and you slide down the hill, and then there was a creek. And if it was frozen, you slid on way down. But sometimes the teacher would go with us. I don't know which teacher now, I can't remember, but I know that. But if a lot of times if she rang the bell, we'd never hear her. We didn't intend to. We'd be way down there.
You didn't intend to hear it?
No. But that was always fun. Oh, another thing we did then is putting the pipeline through. This back years when I was, you know, in grade school up there. They were putting the pipeline through, and it went through by that creek down there, and they'd leave, there would be tubs or whatever they had it in, black tar, you know, that they put seal
yeah,
the
sure.
pipeline with, and we'd gouge that out and chew it for chewing gum.
No wonder us kids are mentally deficient.
And another thing we did, but that wasn't at school. When Dad was feeding the cattle, we'd have the blocks of salt, and we'd go out and chunk out and suck that. Of course, the cows had licked on it, but we thought it was nice and clean.
Yeah, it looked clean.
But we did that all the time, too.
I
We
always
got
had
into,
that.
and then we got in trouble for swimming in the horse tank, too. 'Cause the cattle and horses, they didn't want to drink after we'd been in there.
Well, sure, because you probably peed in the water.
I bet that was right nice of that on there. That was funny. And then we played in the barn, and we'd play circus. And Uncle Franny would be the trapeze man, and he'd swing, you know. And then we'd have our cats and dogs, and that'd be our, you know, our
trained animals. Yeah.
animals. And Aline Humphrey, she was a pretty lady, and I was a fat one. You can ask Franny about that, because he'd remember. I don't know what Uncle Kenny did. He probably was the ringmaster, probably told us all what to do.
See, bossy.
Well, no, but he was the oldest.
Phyllis was probably too mature to be involved, huh?
No, I can remember her playing in the barn with us.
That's funny. Did you have a barn kind of like ours up in Knoxville where we had that big open space?
Yeah, we had where you put loose hay in then. We didn't put bales in. So I remember playing circus all the time. We had to make our own fun because
Did you ever go to a circus?
I can remember one time going to
I mean,
circus.
you didn't see him on TV, so...
No, but I think we went to maybe one in Galesburg one time. Because when the circus came to town, it was a big deal, you know, and it probably didn't cost more than a quarter.
Oh, but there are 9 of you. That's a bit of...
But I can remember one time going, but I don't remember the situation. Probably we had gone, and that's why we played circus.
Yeah, well, it must have been, because I'm
But I
thinking, you know,
I
you
don't
didn't see it
remember.
on TV.
I don't remember that.
Oh, that's cool. So... What else did you play?
Oh, we played all kinds of, you know, Annie over and all that kind of stuff. Throw the ball over the shed. And I don't know what the deal was. If you caught it, you run around and tried to tag the other guy or something. I don't remember what that's.
Yeah,
Then we played, one we was freeze. You remember playing freeze?
Freeze, right.
That was one we played a lot.
Freeze and
And,
hide and seek. Hide and go seek.
Yeah.
We never played the electric game.
No.
We used to
But
play...
that's still got the berries in.
Want to try it?
Marty, we could still do that because it's got batteries in it.
Should have got all the kids over.
Wouldn't burn in them like that.
Play a game Grandma used to play.
You should have got that whole bunch.
But Blake told him that it was his direct line to Santa Claus.
Yeah, that's how you used to call Santa Claus.
That was another thing that little kids ask about. Did we have telephone? And I told about how we rang it, you know. Long and a short, or 3 longs and 2 shorts, or you knew your number that way. or that was your call. And if they rang, if there was a fire, they just rang, and then everybody could run and listen. But you could listen in on.
Yes.
And even when we first got the dial phone, there was several on the line, and you could still, if you happened to pick up the receiver, right?
Or if you just wanted to pick up the receiver.
Then you could, if somebody's talking, you could listen. But they knew when somebody else picked it up because there was a click. But then with that phone, sometimes if they couldn't hear, didn't have very good reception, who was ever talking, say, "Everybody get off the line, I can't hear." They would do that.
Then you're click, 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 click.
Do you remember?
Because there was, oh, I suppose 20 on the line, you know, because everybody on the line, and they just, it was community owned, and so that everybody had to take care of it, you know, the guys did.
Everybody get them. Remember when we lived outside on the other side of town, we had a normal phone, and then we moved out to the farm and we didn't, and we went back to this, and we were like, what is this?
And then it wasn't very long till we got
a real phone.
And then he gave this one to you girls for Playhouse. Remember that? And you had the Playhouse and that chicken. Okay. When we lived out west of town in John's place, we called it, I can't remember his name either.
Jenkins.
John Jenkins. But anyway, we had a big strawberry patch right out the back door. And Rosalie and I were picking, we put on our bathing suits to get a suntan, so we went out to pick strawberries. But we were looking for the gas, where they were delivered gas in drums, and they set them right at the back door. And so we told Jane to watch for him and tell us before he got there so we could get in the house. And so here he comes. Well, she waited until he got clear, just ready to come around the house, and she opened the door and just yelled, "Gas man!" And there he was standing right there. And here we were in the garden with our bathing suits on.
This is back
Harold
when you
Nelson.
didn't really want anybody's video.
Harold Nelson, remember? "Gas man!" And she just yelled it right in his face, "Gas man!"
How about the Cowman cooker recorder?
Oh, and then she and Madeline and Karen, I suppose, they played, and were having a bakery, playing like they were running a bakery. And they had a sign in the front, by the front door, "Cowman's Cookery," and the insurance man came. He was a young man, and Rosalie had met him the night before at a.
No, the next night.
Oh yeah, he came, and then I suppose he talked to Dad. I don't know what. But then the next night, Rosalie went to a rural youth program or something, and here this guy was there, and they introduced her as Cowman, and he said, "Oh, you